Hey, so guys, welcome back to another monster video. So in today's video, I'm back with another account review. This is going to be episode 21. I hope you're all excited. If you are, make sure to drop a like, subscribe. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this. If you want to have a chance to have your account reviewed in the next episode or a future episode, make sure to comment down below your profile name and also your team name so I can go ahead and have you guys ready for the next video. So yeah, guys, this is episode 21, like I said, and the first comment was from actually a donator. You guys don't have to donate, but I really appreciate that you guys do. So this was the first person that actually went ahead and commented, and he also donated as well. I love watching the videos and wanted to support the amazing content. I really appreciate that. Thank you. So anyways, I just play for fun, not free to play. I generally don't know what attack or defense team to use for PvP. I also have not taken the time to organize my island. Also, I left before mythics were easy to get and only came back right before the end of Galactic Era, so I don't have all the really good PvP monsters. I would love some general advice on how to progress. As always, great video and keep up the amazing content. I appreciate it. Alright, so anyways, let's do an overall account review, and then I'm actually going to give you some tips that will actually help you improve as well. So anyways, this player is at level 97 with 61k monster power. The attack team that this player is currently using is a supporter. Okay, so the supporter is being used as an attacker, which can be can be changed. So here's the thing with this, what I would suggest you doing is running this monster with speed or team speed. All right, you don't want to run any strength runes. I understand this monster does have like a damaging skill, and then there's another damaging skill, and it's more of like a torturer than attacker anyways. So when it comes down to that, I'd highly recommend running this monster as a supporter rather than attacker. So get rid of that strength rune. If you are going to use this monster, get rid of the strength rune and run it as a supporter like how it's supposed to be. And then there's Larnata that you're using as an attacker. And this Larnata, you have triple strength, which is actually not a bad idea. You can run triple strength if you want, but what I would suggest is 2 strength and 1 speed. That should be enough. And then Sky Cold, you're running... Okay, so what I would do with Sky Cold is get rid of that team life and run 2 team speed and 1 life. And let me see if you have any better monsters here to actually use. You do have Grafania at level 100. Why don't you use Grafania? Alright, so here's what I would do if I were you. I would actually throw in Grafania in your defense team. You can keep Larnata in your offense if you want. I want to see if you have any better monsters. You also have... Oh my gosh, you have this monster? Dude, that's crazy. Alright, now I really like Larnata because of the amount of like different element skills that this monster has, but it's the dark element that's what's making him weak on PvP. For PvP, dark monsters in light meta, not a good idea. So what I would do if I were you, I'd probably switch that monster up with maybe Guildmaster Gregors. And then there's also, you have another attacker right here that you can do, but I'm not really a huge fan of this one. I really like this one more. Oh my, you have Albinasa at rank 4. Why don't you use it? Use a... Okay, here's a team I'm actually going to give you right now. This will be such a good team. So use Albinasa. You can pair up Albinasa with Grafania. Run these two with your Sky Cold. So it would be instead of these two, remove these two. Okay, so get rid of both of these guys and do Grafania Iron Wings with Albinasa, but make sure their speeds are as close as possible to each other. So make sure the speed of Albinasa is really close to Grafania, not so far apart, not so far low. Make sure Albinasa takes in the first turn, and then your attacker, and then obviously your tank later on. For your defense team, a team I could actually give you would be, you can probably run in this 140 Guildmaster. That won't be a bad idea. You can actually run Tideborn as well. Tideborn's not bad, although he gets better later on because of his skills, the skills that you unlock. You do have a 130 Rusty. Why don't you use a Rusty Redtail? He's good. You even have this. Oh, that's just amazing. Here's what I would do if I were you. Run Gonzo with Redtail, and then you can throw in like a tank in there, maybe like Dumbane. Dumbane would be a decent tank too because he has taunt, tough, and damage section. So with this monster, run 1 life and 2 team speed, or 2 life and 1 team speed. But yeah, that would make it really good, an excellent defense team. But I really like that offense team that I just gave you though. These two with that tank. Anyways, the monsters you should actually focus on ranking up with B. First of all, these 2 ancestrals. Don't do these 2. Only these 2 ancestrals, and then you can continue investing in Guildmaster. He's not bad. I would do him for sure. Albinos is like, he's gonna be useful for so long. He's not bad either. And then obviously this Gonzo is pretty good. If you can get Baba Rashir, both of those monsters, I've made videos on it. Make sure to check it out. They make a really good duo. And then Rusty's really good attackers too, and Dumbane, and that's about it honestly. I was gonna say the Onikapa Kappa or something, but there's Dunbane, which is a better option basically. Let's go ahead and take a look at your island. So your island is a bit messy right now. I can actually tell that because all the elements are like everywhere, basically all the monsters, different elements everywhere. But you can always fix this. You can always fix it. Now, actually, I was actually looking for an island like this. Even the small area is actually not bad. We can use it as an example. What you can actually do is move in a couple of your habitats. Let's say about 4 or 5 of them that you can fit in here. Just move them right in here, and then you're gonna have more space. So what you can do is move the habitats as close as possible to each other. I'm sure you can probably fit in another 1 or 2 habitat, maybe 1 habitat the most. But anyways, if you can't, that's completely fine. At least move them around so that you can actually place in some gold boosts near them like you have right here, but make sure to place them better, and also split it into at least 2 or 3 or even 4 elements. For the amount of mythics that you have, you could probably do about 3. I would say about 3, 2 or 3, not bad. If you want to do 4, you can do that, but this main island, just go ahead and split it into like at least 2 elements most, and if you want to do more, that's up to you, but at least minimum of 2. So what I mean by that is maybe make this side of the your island full of nature monsters, and then this side could be full of fire, for example, or something like that. You know what I mean? So you can do a mix of something like that. That would actually work. Or if you want to do more elements, that's up to you. What I meant earlier by this island, you moving all these instead of like moving it to your vault, this is a good space to kind of like move things to, so that you have more space to play with here, you know what I mean, on your main island. These habitats later on, you're not gonna really need these guys, really. None of these monsters are good. You can actually place them in your vault. If anything, don't sell them, place them in your vault, except the monsters that you think are, you know for sure they're not going to be usable even in breeding events, or you know what I mean, they're just easy to obtain. For example, the ones that are easy to obtain is like this one right here, this fire guy, this fox monster, Octorush, for example, and so on. Basically, you get the point. This, you can leave this here if you want, that's up to you. But yeah, you have a lot of space to play with. Like this right here, this is, I see you just place it just for fun because of the amount of space that you have. Yeah, I can tell. So why don't you just make this full of earth monsters? This will be full of like metal or something. This could be full of nature or fire, and you know, yeah, take care of those. Use those to your advantage. You have space to play with, might as well do it, right? And then you don't even need these islands, even though you haven't bought them yet. You don't even need them because you have so much space already. You're progressing very fast. I like that. And then this, I'm glad you're listening and, you know, keeping all these here. That's good. But yeah, not bad overall. If you want to keep these, you can, but it's waste of space in my opinion. I know it's for decorations, but I see it as waste of space. But you can keep it since you have a lot of space to play with. Good placement on these two. Good job. But anyways, these three are unlocked, and obviously that's at level 12. You're doing very good. Mine's at level 11, so you're doing pretty good, I've got to say. Before I move on to the next player, another tip I could give to that specific player, or all of you guys watching, is that if you are not a free-to-play player, even if you are, but this actually applies for players that do spend money, especially obtaining gems. If you have tons of gems laying around and you don't have monsters that are meta monsters include monsters that are being used actively on PvP every day that you see in the top PvP. Everybody's using it. You want to save gems for Monster Week. When Monster Week comes around, make sure to spend your gems on that and then start investing in it. Try to rank those monsters up, you know, get it to a higher rank and start using it. That will, trust me, that will actually help you rank up on PvP, get to the top easily. The next player we have is Max. So Max is actually a leader in his team, and he went ahead and commented and said, "Monster Gaming, please review mine." All right, let's see. My island is kind of messy because I'm changing it and I'm not a competitive player in team, but in PvP, yes. So he's not a competitive player, a player in like a team wars, I'm assuming, right? That's what he means by team. So in team wars he probably isn't, but on PvP, yes, he's trying. Okay, I just got back into the game and I want to know what I could upgrade into my defense and attack team in PvP, trying to be the top 10 in PvP. All right, that is actually a high goal, but I can definitely get you up there. Let's see what we have here that you can actually play with. So if you want to reach up there, what I would do is switch up your attack team. This won't help you, unfortunately. Your defense team I see that you're using is Baba Bashir and the other two. So you can, let me see what other monsters that you have that I could actually kind of switch around that would actually help you out. None of these monsters here, I would say. I would actually have to visit your island. Before I visit your island, I might as well go ahead and let you know which monsters to focus on. So since you have these two already maxed out, that's actually amazing. Good job. Start focusing on this one too. This one's really good. He makes a very good defense monster for PvP. But besides that, You don't have to worry about these two. Dumbane's a really good monster to focus on, so I'd highly recommend doing that. Rusty Red Tail is also pretty good, and I would say that's pretty much it in terms of here. Now if you want to win basically almost every battle on PvP, I'm talking about your offense. If you want to win every single battle or almost every battle, you're gonna have to use Darman in your team. Darman's a really good monster. I was gonna say Cannon 11. You can do Cannon if you want, but I like Darman more. Again, you could do Cannon if you want to, but Darman you can like run 1 life and 2 team speed, or 1 life, 1 speed, and 1 team speed. You don't want to make it faster than your attacker, so run Darman with Baba Bashir and then Sky Cold on your side. The reason why you have Darman is because of Curator's Horn and also the fact that he can actually heal. So healing, Curator's Horn, and also the fact that this monster can apply damage boost. Most of the time, that other monster that you're going to be pairing it up with, the Ancestral Baba Bashir, he doesn't really need the damage boost, but you know, sometimes that double damage does help because the triple damage is already given by the status caster from the ultimate, but for the most part, it's just the Curator's Horn and the healing in case you need that. If you don't want to do Darman, you can actually do Cannon 11. That's also a good option. Another thing is you can actually run Lamuna on your defense team. You can do Lamuna, but make sure to max monster out first. So you really need this monster right now for your defense if you want to actually get a higher win rate for your defense. I would say avoid using monsters like Serpentex, even Shadow Yena, I would say, or King Adam. Now Elvira wouldn't be like a bad choice. You can actually run Elvira, I would say. Now, I'm looking through and you're missing Gonzo. I would say this monster would be a good one for this era. If you want to actually kind of improve on PvP, running Gonzo with that other monster wouldn't be a bad choice. So you could do Gonzo with Baba Bashir and then a tank on the side. So you can run that either for your defense or PvP, whichever one you want. I've actually made tons of videos on that. Make sure to check that out. Another key monster would be Albanasa. So if you want to use Albanasa instead of, for example, the monster I told you, Darman or K911, you can actually do that too, because Albanasa, he actually comes with a hater as well as a status caster, and when you're applying that triple damage, I believe it actually comes with a hardened hater, which is huge. Another huge tip I could actually give you, Max, is this. Okay, so whenever you log onto the game, head over to PvP, right? You want to see the top 3 players and you want to basically scout their defense and see which one has the highest win rate. So this one has 236 out of 360, so it can be better. Let's see about Loud Suits, 345 out of 500. Obviously nobody's defense is perfect, but you want to basically compare the ones that has like a high win rate. For example, this player is actually winning quite a lot, 329 out of 466. What you can actually do is basically scout that player, see what the type of runes he's using, see the type of skill set, the relics and everything that this player is using. As you guys see, he actually decided to do a triple team suit Euro. I've never actually seen that before, so it looks like that's actually working out for him. So I would actually do it. I mean, if why not? I mean, you just have to scout. Now this is something you want to avoid, 290 out of almost 800, so avoid a player like this, I would say. Let me see. It's because the player has won so many attack teams or attacks in general that he got so far up. His defense is just not as good, basically. That is why he is all the way up here, because of his attacks, the amount of attacks he's done. I mean, there isn't like a unwritten rule in the game where, oh, you can't choose or copy somebody else's defense, you know what I mean? Just go ahead and take a look at it, and if you need to tweak it your own way, you can always do that. But I mean, might as well do that. Work smarter, not harder, right? Next player is Hype from Heroes Win, and this player went ahead and commented, I really just want an overall feedback or on anything. My island is a mess and I'm not as competitive or active as much, though I try to. Slowly we'll get back into the game. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at this player's island. It's a level 68 with 8k monster power. One tip I would give you right now is you try not to level up as much as you have right now. Like, I don't want to compare it with the player before this. That player was what, 80 or 90, level 80 or 90 with like a lot more MP. So try to increase your monster power a little bit, because that's also another thing. When you're applying to teams nowadays, especially good teams, they require at least 50k or more monster power. You might be able to find a team with like even as low as 10k, but even then you don't have 10k monster power, you know what I mean? So like a really good team, you will need to have a lot of monster power. So focus on that, I would say. Feed up your monsters even more. Try to work on your food farms, like your food in general. I've made tons of videos, and right now the food farms, they've been a lot better than before, you know what I mean? Like the new food, have you seen the new food that they released? least check those out. But your attack team, it seems like you're using the Fireful, the damage boost with the turn transfer meta. Obviously, you're doing pretty good. You can definitely get out of gold, I would say, with this for sure. Yeah, so just go ahead and rank them up a little more. Like for example, let me see what you're using. You're using a 1 speed and 2 team speed. You know what? That's fine. You can actually do a triple strength on the Serpentix if you want. The only thing is that what would actually stop this would be like a Antipater monster. So be careful of anticipation. But even then, I mean, you kind of have King Adam there helping you out a little bit. So I'll give some credit to that. But I would say just rank them up a little more. The runes are not bad. You could do triple strength if you want. Run an Epigurus talents instead of whatever this is. And then obviously there's an SN that you're missing. Yeah, your talents could be better though. Your talents can be 100% better. Let's go ahead and take a look at your defense team. Your defense team, you're using this as a supporter. Oh wait, attacker. So 2 attackers. Interesting. Yeah. So work on your runes as well. Like unlock the remaining ones. If you're gonna use that slob, might as well. Oh, what I would do if I were you, actually get rid of Naya, and I would do either Darman or Canon 11 and pair that up with either Voltic, or you could run Cupid. In my personal opinion, I like Voltic on defense more, especially paired up with Canon 11, because once he opens up the path, the AI, the Voltic would go crazy, trust me. So you can make it a little bit faster, and if anything, you could do like 2 speed and 1 strength, and then run like 2 speed and 1 team speed or something on Canon 11, as long as he's taken in the first turn before Voltic. He should be able to, because it's a 110 versus a 100 if you're going to be doing like a 2 speed and 1 team speed. Monsters you should focus on here would be Darman, Voltic, and 11. I was gonna say Darman Santa, but you have the original one, so might as well. Sorceress is also pretty good. Necro is also an excellent monster, and then obviously these other 2 monsters down here, Fropsy and this one especially. If you want to win a lot of defense battles, you need Lamuna to at least rank 5 because of that area random positive status effect and her just being there with the anticipation. And you can always make it even better with like a talent. Let's go ahead and take a look at your island. It is a bit messy, but it's okay. What I would do, you can actually, this isn't good. The placement of this with the magic boost, no. So what I would do if I were you actually is, let me see if you have this island right here free. Remember the tip I give to that second player? What you can actually do is move most of these habitats to that island just so that you have more space to play around with here, and then basically split this into at least 2. What I would do if I were you, split it into at least 2 elements instead of what you have right now, and then move the remainings to different islands. For example, you have Earth right here, and then this right here is technically free. You just have to remove these 2 and put them somewhere else. If you want to turn this into like a light element only, you can actually do that. Both of these right here. So something to kind of consider and think about. This right here is not good at all. The fact that you have all these 4, yeah, it's helping these 3 habitats, but I'm sure you have another like thunder monster around here. No? Okay, that's fine. Fair. All right, but for future future plans, what I would suggest is obviously working on your island right now. So it just looks very messy, and I believe you did mention it in your comment as well. So I would say just work on this basically, especially this right here. Just moving around, maximizing your golds basically. These 3 are already unlocked. I'm assuming they're most likely, at least this one is at least 3 stars, so that's good. And then rune level 11, not bad. So you have a lot of space to play with. Like right there, that's empty. This is empty. That's a little bit empty, so might as well take advantage of that. This isn't bad. You can keep this in here if you want, but I like it here. Next player that we have is Hybrid 20 on the list, and he just went ahead and commented his team name and profile name. So we're just gonna do an overall account review because he didn't add any other comments to it. So 3k monster at level 63. See, this is another thing right here. I see that you also leveled up pretty high, and your monster power doesn't really match your level, but that's okay. Let's see what we have here. So for your defense team, you're using some legendary monsters. Obviously these 3 won't really get you anywhere, especially in this current era. So if you want to improve, I would actually suggest using mythic monsters, although one of them is mythic, but all 3 monsters are basically outdated. Now these can be used a little bit, obviously, but you can definitely switch this up and get a better setup there. Let me see what you actually have. So you don't really have any tanks to play with except Isol. If you want to use Isol, you can, but I wouldn't really suggest. He's not really much of a tank there. He can't really take much damage. But anyways, if I were to give you a team, I would use Robotito as your supporter. You can actually do Robotito supporter or even attacker. It's up to you, because like I said, he can be used as both. One thing he actually does have is a damage boost. I would highly suggest running that damage boost skill. You could probably switch up Shell for flowers for it. But anyways, besides that, you can actually do Cigarette and Fort for your attacker if you want, because this monster does have block resurrection, which can actually later on help you against your defenses. And then last but not least, you can throw in any monster in there, because these two right here make a pretty good team together. So all you really need like is a supporter or a tank or whatever it is, you just throw it in there. And if I were to give you another team together, would be you running Vampire Shell, but switch up this rune, give it at least 2 strength and 1 speed. This is a very good attacker. You can definitely run Vampire Shell as an attacker, or if you want, you can even run as a supporter, where she just opens up the path for your other monster, because she does have PER skills. You can do that. And then your 105 nation, you can use it right now with Muchi. Don't run Heyman at all. This isn't the same Heyman as Lord Heyman, so this monster sucks. You don't want to use this one at all. So you're just gonna have to run these two with this, and then these two with another monster, maybe even ISOL in there if you want. Sure. But that's pretty much it. None of these other monsters are unfortunately worth investing in. Now moving on to your island, let's go ahead and take a look at what you have here. So it is a bit not, I want to say it's messy, because you have all nature. Basically, you have all elements together. It's just like, you know what I mean, like a zigzag form basically, or parallel form. But anyways, so you don't have much mythic. Okay, so all your mythics are over here, you're keeping. That's completely okay. So right now, in terms of your island, I can't really give much feedback besides, yeah, you know, this is fine. You can keep it the way it is, but maybe for later on, you can actually turn your main island into mythics. So if anything, you can move these habitats into like different islands. So instead of keeping it here, you can use like these islands and keep your mythic monsters here. It's up to you. The only reason why I didn't mention that straight away is because you don't have too many mythic monsters, you know what I mean? You only have about 4 habitats, and that's about it, and that's okay. I'm sure it'll take some time for you to actually get some more mythics, and that's all right. But yeah, I would say the only thing you should focus on right now would be to obtain more mythics. So focus on PvP, for example, obtain free mythics from there. Team races, marathons, right? You can definitely pick up a mythic or 2 from there, or just a mythic, or even legendaries. It depends on how well your team performs. Besides that, bounty hunts is also a really good way. And then I would say just save your gems until there's a monster week. When there's a monster week, pick up like a Voltic Redeemed or something. I'm sure he can actually help you win a lot of attacks, either on defense or PvP for PvP. But that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy, and if you did, make sure you drop a like and also subscribe. Again, all you have to do is comment down below your team name, which for me is Skyline, and then my profile name, which is Monster Gaming. And if you want to add any other comments to it, go ahead and do so. I have seen a couple of comments where people just comment down below their profile name, and somehow they suggest, like, they expect me to basically find their team that way. Unfortunately, I can't do that. So make sure you have your team name and also profile name. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.